Welcome back to the channel. Now they said that humanitarian lobby groups are watching to see what will take place with the Vybz Kartel situation. As it stands, Vybz Kartel is currently behind the bars, but with no charges or convictions. And the people are pointing out that having him behind the bars without a decision and whether or not they are going to retry him and this co-accused so that a decision can be made and whether or not he can be given bail. They are saying this might start to infringe upon his humanitarian rights or his human rights, and then it would be a humanitarian concern. But before we get into that, the opposition is saying that they're having a major issue with the House Speaker and the way bills are being tabled or the lack thereof. Of course, I'm not going to hear from them. But they must be really serious. They must say there are also certain committees where deal with economic growth. The same economy where the state are talk about, but them only meet once a year. So if growth of the economy is so important, how come them only talk about the growth of the economy once a year? Let me continue what go on and they will continue the reasonation. Look and listen.
I think the Speaker and the JLP bowed to public pressure. I think there was outrage from Friday when that release went out to say that there were no outstanding reports as of Friday, and then subsequent to that, people found out that the reports were actually sent and were sent back by the Speaker. And then I think yesterday when the Speaker released that letter to the clerk, I think that also enraged a number of people. So I think they bowed to public pressure to release it. But importantly, she has said that her opinion remains the same. And so in a month's time, when Parliament resumes and the Auditor General has other reports, we're going to be back to square one. From the opposition's perspective, we are contemplating court action. We haven't made a definitive decision on it, but we believe we are at a stalemate where there's intransigence on the part of the Speaker in terms of her interpretation of the law, and I don't know how else it is going to be resolved. So we are actively considering it, and once we make a decision, we will inform the public of that. I think the Speaker, unfortunately and wrongly, continues to hold on to the opinion that the Attorney General provided on this issue, which I believe would provide some guidance to all parties, because in our view, she has wrongfully and unlawfully interpreted the provisions both of the Constitution and the FAA Act in relation to Section 30. By withholding the opinion, it means that we don't have clarity from the government's chief legal advisor, and it would help to bring clarity if that opinion was made public. And again, today, she has held to her position that she's not going to release that opinion. I'm very concerned about that. In fact, I would advise the Auditor General not to meet with her. The issue is not an issue between her and the Auditor General. The issue is her interpretation of the law, in our view, wrongful interpretation of the law. And I don't know what that meeting will accomplish. The Auditor General has made it clear that she does not believe what the Speaker has done is correct, which is why she has sent back those reports. So what is the meeting going to do?
Though this meeting was convened not to deal with the issues here, but to deal with the motion that I tabled in the House, which by resolution of the Parliament required the Economy and Production Committee to meet, required it to meet within 45 days. So one could reasonably construe that if it was not for that resolution, this Economy and Production Committee would not be meeting, because over 1 year never met on its own accord. So I want to say going forward that the committee recognizes that it has work to do. This minutes before us is dated minutes of the virtual meeting of the Economy and Production Committee held on Tuesday, March 14, 2023, over 1 year ago. Over 1 year ago. A number of issues, when I read the minutes, I was struck that those critical issues raised in that last meeting, which are issues of crying importance to the Jamaican economy and to the Jamaican people, that the membership of the committee was so busy that all of those important matters lay idle for over 1 year.
Now, some people are saying, and even the Prime Minister voiced this opinion, himself all of a sudden he made the opposition talk about this and that as it pertains to the House Speaker, when the opposition congratulated his wife and becoming the new House Speaker. The Prime Minister believes that all of this is political. This is just talk being made. And the Prime Minister and the administration believes that the opposition really has no problem with the House Speaker. But this is just another political talking point. Something where they can use for then base them other talk offer. Saying, look on the House Speaker there, sir. And then they can then say, here's what we want to do. And what. Same as just a jumping point for a conversation. So he doesn't believe that the opposition has any issues with the House Speaker being the wife of the Prime Minister. Tell me what you think. Do you think this creates some form of conflict of interest? I think this is the first time the Jamaican state have ever seen a House Speaker who is the wife of the Prime Minister, or the wife of a Prime Minister, while he is still the Prime Minister. So talk to me. But aren't the other stories making headlines today? Now, some people are saying, what them are wait for here are, some people do research on it, is how long the appeal court can take to make that decision and whether or not they are going to retry Vybz Kartel and the other co-accused. If it's a set time period, meaning say between these amount of days, weeks, we don't want to say months, or even longer than that. And the one excuse that are also the one, not the one like that, the only scenario or reason. But the court can always point to the fact that there's such a backlog and so much things before the court now. Those documents just have not reached the right desk for the decision get made. Because a whole heap of other documents. And of course, with Isaac Buchanan being a specialist in the humanitarian or the human rights aspect of the judicial system, we know some also a player keen attention to what I want and how long them are going to take to make them decision to retry or not. Some people have said that it is not strange for the DPP to want a retrial, seeing that this was one of the longest trials in Jamaican judicial history. It is not that Vybz Kartel's case is the biggest case of the DPP's career. Even though some might debate that, as while she's the director of public prosecution and is the head of the office, she pointed out that not every trial date has the director sitting in at that specific trial date. There are many prosecutors that work for the office. Just like in North America, when you have the district attorney, you have a whole heap of prosecutors that represent the office of the district attorney. But there is a district attorney, the head of the office. And every case you're going to see that individually. You might see them, but not all the time. Some people say the reason why the office itself wants a retrial is more to the fact that since it was said that the case itself was done incorrectly, they are seeing it as an opportunity to right the wrongs and correct the mistakes. While defense attorneys are saying, no, that's a second bite of the apple. That's you getting a chance to prosecute all over again when the error was on the side of the state. Now, that's not really something we can argue if the error was on the side of the state, because the UK Privy Council has already ruled. And them say, yo, keeping the jury was a no-no. And that was the said error on the side of the state. So that no for debate, and like we can say, no, well, the state never do this, or never really the state fault. The UK Privy Council said the state fault. And hence, the murder conviction itself was quashed. So that is how serious the situation was. So them saying them want to use this as an opportunity to get it right this time. You know what I mean? Correct the mistakes, right the wrongs. Sound good in theory. But defense attorneys are saying, for the amount of years that these individuals have spent behind the bars, while as the UK has stated, no, this conviction was not right, not done the right way. So all of those years behind the bars was for nothing, basically. And the people are saying, no, how can you have individuals behind the bars for so much years, over a decade, and then now I say you want an opportunity to do it the right way? Talk to me. And of course the people are questioning evidence. But talk to me in the comment section. If you're new to the channel, just a pass through, we'll click the subscribe icon and then the bell icon, and of course, put it on all. And this is how you know will be notified of all fresh content as soon as fresh content is uploaded and made available for you right here on the platform. The like icon is also in close proximity to the share icon. Drop a like and bust a share and tell a friend, tell them sister and them brother them for check out the channel, look at the reasoning, and also join the discussion. The comment section open 24/7. It never lock it. Just be respectful and mindful of the guidelines. But other than that, drop your thoughts, your comments, and yes, your opinions there. And we can continue the reason via the comment section. Now, of course, until the reason again, my sentiments for you and yours are for to live, love, and prosper, and also for to stay tuned.